Yo, 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 this is your girl Sincere, straight from New Jersey. And welcome to Thought Crimes. I'm here with.
Yo, this is your man P Solo, Prince Solomon, King of the South. Just to let y'all know about that. But anyway, what's up?
Don't come over here with that T.I. stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to be the T.I. stuff because I'm definitely not on stage faking right now as a comedian. He's, T.I. is older because I thought about it. I was like, man, he really showed up dressed as Eddie Murphy from Delirious. Like we went. Look, hats off to him for even trying something new, though. But, I can respect that. I do respect that. But
I respect that, too.
The suit, I was like, man, this really is a throw. He really trying to trigger nostalgia up here.
So, Mero is the official guy leading Hot 97 early in the morning.
Woo! Mornings with Mero, y'all. It's your buddy Kid Mero, the human direct flap. I will be with y'all faithfully every Monday through Friday.
I think this is a great choice. Nobody dislikes this guy, maybe except for academics, but he has a very jolly personality, very happy personality, and people have been getting used to sometimes the morning being all dreary and sad. So it will be interesting to see somebody who has like a big jolly personality be leading the morning show from 6 to 10 on Hot 97. So far, I feel like this is a great choice. Yeah,
I actually think his personality is a throwback to broadcasting in a sense like radio where it just was a little bit more. He actually reminds me of? He reminds me of like a time traveler from 2003 from Rap City, as a host. That's what he reminds me of. He kind of got that energy. He got some 106 in Park type energy. Look, I think it's a good look. My personal opinion, I think he's naturally funny. And everything about him is New York, just to say that, because he is 100%. Because when I think about Mero, I think about New York too. Or you could say one of the same or both.
No.
But when I think about it, when I look at it, it's a New Yorker. And
he's definitely very, very New York. I know he always says BX stand up all day. But him, Anthony, they got this, I think it's called 7 p.m. Brooklyn show that they have together. I just think it's a good fit. It's unfortunate that the other half of the dynamic duo got a big head and thought that he was Madonna and split up the duo. But it's good that Mero has been continuing his path of working really hard and just betting on himself. So, and he also has his own, his own brands and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But again, him being over there in Hot 97, him being from New York City, being from one of the boroughs, I think this is a really good look. Earlier Hot 97 was trolling people, trying to get people upset because people falsely thought the three young people from Atlanta was going to be the new host for the morning show for Hot 97. Why did they do that? I guess maybe to stall some time while they find somebody else, which they did. So I guess they did shock people because at first people got lost interest and they wasn't even really thinking about who's going to be the host of Hot 97 in the morning. And then they was able to find Mero. And I think, again, out of all of the candidates, this definitely was the best choice because he also knows the in and out of the city, New York City. He loves New York City. It's authentic, his love for New York City. And I'm sure you're going to feel it.
Yeah, I do want to say something real quick about the Atlanta situation. First of all, they were trolling. I knew they were trying to say it doesn't make sense. How in the hell? Because we know they got other radio hosts that show up in New York. They're from other different parts of the nation. I said, but there ain't no way y'all gonna have three people from Atlanta to sit at a New York radio station. And they already saw the New Yorkers online. They were tight about it, as they should. But of course, they were trolling. Hot 97 is trying to troll a little bit because it's supposed to be some sort of online store or show that they got going on too, by the way. But with Mero, I think he's a perfect fit. Now, again, everything looks good on paper. We know execution is the key. All right. Just because they work well together, potentially, it still could be a Bill Belichick and Tom Brady moment. You know what I'm saying?
People thought that with Jay-Z and R. Kelly. Best of both worlds.
I sing, he raps, no wait. He sings, I rap, no wait. We do both.
Yeah, so sometimes things can look great on paper,
Yeah.
but when it comes to execution, it falls through. So of course we have to see if it plays out the right way. But so far so good on the choice.
Yeah, now I do want to see though, because now that they have Mero there, I actually think the other final form here is possibly what would the other two co-hosting situations would look like, or will there be additional co-hosts, or is just Mero going to kind of Samson it himself on that regard? But nah, man, I think so far though, I think he's a homegrown town hero. You know, people love him, and I think it's a new fresh energy too. By the way, again, like you stated earlier, look, it is unfortunate what happened with Ebro, but look, I'm not even from New York, and everybody I've heard from New York complained about Ebro for a long time. It's ironic they specifically complained about Ebro versus, you know, a lot of times with Laura and Rosenberg. You know, Rosenberg, because he did have some bad hip hop takes. No, he does. Like, he don't bother me, but some of his takes were bad. Like, he kept crying about the Jay-Z and the Jay Electronica album.
Right, and I didn't like that. I hope that Mero doesn't fall into the trappings that Ebro did. This is no hate towards Ebro, but Ebro did not put any new stars in hip-hop on from the city. He did not focus on the Bronx. He did not focus on Brooklyn. He did not focus on Staten Island. He wasn't even focused on Manhattan. So hopefully what we get with Mero is someone who authentically loves New York City, the culture, bringing people on from the culture, new exciting acts, giving them an opportunity. Of course, it's still a brand for everyone, because we know that one of the major broadcasting hubs in America is New York City. So of course he's going to be showing love to other regions in the United States of different talented artists, but you know, hopefully he keeps that New York City flavor and we get to see some really good, surprising new acts from New York City be able to show up there in the morning.
You know, when I think about Mero, I think about KB Toys. That's what I think about. And I hope he brings that to the mornings.
That's not good. KB Toys went out of business.
I mean, well, you know, I'm just saying though, it made me feel good while they were in business when I was a kid. You know, but look, Ebro, you know, he said he was focused on Israel. So in New York, people was like, bro, I'm really just driving to work. I need something to listen to.
Well, to wrap this up, I will say this. To all the Ebro haters, y'all were right about that one. A lot of people tried to defend Ebro, saying no, it was because of Israel he got fired, and then they chose Mero, who literally is pro Madani,
right?
Mamdani, and literally he gave out his thoughts of being pro Palestine too. So to the people who was hating on him, Ebro, the academics and the rest of them, they actually got one little win in on that one, because obviously that's not why Hot 97 fired y'all, because they picked up someone who I would say politically have some of I would say probably 90% of the same political viewpoints.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, with Laura Stiles, Rosenberg, and Ebro. And again, I've had my criticism. I think I've roasted Ebro a couple times. Some of his takes were bad, but outside of that, I personally feel like they kind of came across like grumpy coworkers, you know, and people kind of want to liven things up a little bit. Now, it's okay if that's what you kind of do, but you guys are actually funny. You know, you got to keep in mind, it's still the entertainment business. And I just don't think at that point in time, people felt that they were as entertaining as they could have been. And one thing I will say about Mero, he generally has an entertaining presence. Whether, you know, you're liking exactly what he's doing or not, he does typically liven up the room. So I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a really good look for radio, especially New York radio. A lot of broadcasting legacy joints has been started in New York. It's a broadcasting hub. You can't do none without it. But I actually think this is a really good look. But I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw the three Atlanta Negroes and I saw one of the boys' hair, I said, that boy he ain't the host. And people were freaking out. I said, boy, look at that man's haircut. That man is not one of the hosts of New York radio. It would have been on that boy's hairline. And stop it. But I got to give it to Hot 97. It was a good pump fake.
Yeah. they definitely need to balance it up a little bit more, because we haven't really been getting that real New York City flavor in hip hop or radio broadcasting for a while. It's been hurting it. We need some real New York City people, and we'll see what happens with this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, drop your comments below. Tell us, what do you think about Mero? All right, the Kid Mero being one of the hosts, if not possibly, I think he's the host from the 6 a.m. to the 10 a.m. slot, if I recall correctly. You know, are you guys excited about it? You looking forward to it? And, you know, just drop your comments below. Also, to support this channel, you can get over to our Patreon, by the way. We do have a live stream tonight, too. So those folks that want to check into that also. I'm your man, Prince Solomon, along here with
Sincere Ignorance.
Peace.
Babylon and generation B8 with clean sense, uncommon, can you see straight? Freeze frames by the blockchain, the deep state, deep fake DNA. I'm mobbing with the think tank. Be on the block with the guards where the beats done. What makes it loud for a law? Get your beat stung. Freeze frame, make it hard for bombers roll through. That hating energy get barbecue beef bump. You work a third of the day to get the shame. That was out just like the murderers and rapists that you claim. So we burn a little sage, then we raid in your spot.
Get on, get your motherfucking ass down. What that motherfucker doing at fuck, nigga?
Pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Said he pull crime, pull crime, pull crime, slow crime, slow crime, pull crime, pull crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating. My nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got come from slave. So why you tryna get me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating. Nah, and my nigga, I ain't lazy. Killer keep right down thieves. So why should I be perfect?
Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters, who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, Taoism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Oh, we starting now? Oh, my bad. Welcome to Thought Crimes, everyone. This is your girl, Sincere, and I'm here with...
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your man, Prince Allen P. Solo, back in the building again. ASAP Rocky, new video out, Helicopters.
Call us Punk Sin and Punk Prince. But I've been liking the visuals that ASAP has been dropping. Punky rock. I like the song. I like the video with Winona Ryder. And also the helicopter video, I like this one as well. Now, I understand that with the visuals, it's playing off of, PlayStation, which is an iconic gaming console. I miss when gaming consoles actually cared. The last high I think gaming consoles had was probably a Wii.
Wii?
Yeah.
Okay,
so after we had Nintendo,
yes,
Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3. But when Xbox dropped, it was like another adrenaline rush for gamers. And then, of course, Wii, which brought it to, families. That was, you even had the elderly, playing Wii.
Breaking controllers.
Right,
playing. They were breaking a lot of controllers. Yeah, no,
right.
Xbox dropped. Yeah, it was the last time we could ignore Bill Gates.
Right.
It was.
It's the best thing Microsoft did in a long time. But
what about the Dreamcast? Going back a little bit further, the
Dreamcast was even further, man.
Yeah,
and Dreamcast was amazing.
You know which one I really didn't like? I thought the colors were beautiful, but I hated the controllers on GameCube.
GameCube was a letdown.
Yeah.
The idea, like the idea, but I didn't like the console that much.
Come on now, it's like 8 directional pads. Like, what are we doing here?
But looking at the helicopter playing off of a PlayStation console, gaming console, I liked it. The only thing I would have done a little bit differently, I would have added a little bit of live action, just a little bit in between certain shots. But overall, I think they're being very experimental, and I'm happy that ASAP Rocky is being brave to put out this album. It doesn't matter what haters say. It's good to experiment, whether it fails or not. So I believe that ASAP Rocky, he's being brave. He's definitely taking chances, and he's taking chances with the sound, with the visuals, and again, partnering up with Kelvin Crash, who basically is the co-writer and producer along with ASAP Rocky. And of course, you also have co-production from 3000 and just people who are basically a part of this project. I think everybody who's a part of this project, this dystopic but really forward fashion type of thing that ASAP Rocky is doing. If this is executed well on the album, my God, this is going to be some dope, exciting shit. Like, just to, again, this, because even going back to the Lucy's he dropped years ago, where he pump faked everybody, but it may be for good, because he said he's coming out in January with the album, so that's good. But when you look at a lot of the Lucy's that is on this album, Don't Be Dumb, the visual effects are usually on point. You see this whole like punk rock rowdiness, but also people forget aspects of 80s hip hop as well. Because remember, New York City, the punk rockers and the hip hoppers were together at one time. And then people forget, you had Ice-T with Cop Killer. You had Public Enemy with Anthrax. You had bands like Faith No More and Rage Against the Machine. So this is nothing new. And I like punky rock. And I like what I'm seeing here so far, even with the helicopter joint.
Look, I'm all for it. Like we talked about it last year, I'm not going to lie to you all. A$AP Rocky had let me down. I know everybody was waiting for the fall off. I said not before A$AP Rocky's album Don't Be Dumb, right? Because the hijack track, Taylor Swift, even speaking of J. Cole, Ruby Rosary, fire, right? So I was looking forward. You guys know, sitting out, we talked about this. I heard how A$AP was having his energy up and running, and he talked about, experimentation, and I was already going for it with the production. But I will say right now we get an understanding that, what the body of the work is going to be looking like. And I believe the album drops January 16th. He did talk about Danny Elfman being on board. Tim Burton did the album cover, and Burton and Elfman, they usually they running together like, Batman and Batman. But, even with Danny Elfman from his original group himself, he comes from that type of design in that era. And you kind of get, the likes of the Brian Enos. You go further and we get into also a little bit before then we have grunge, then we go do the punk thing as well. So the fact that they're on board definitely tells me, number one, A$AP Rocky is definitely running deeper in the Hollywood circles. But two,
artistically the right ones.
The right ones, none of the weird stuff. Not none of the melted faced designers, right? But no, I did like the helicopters video. I like the energy. I like the rambunctiousness. I like the rowdy energy. And my personal opinion, I have seen some people complain, but here's what's beautiful about it, boys and girls. Every time there's alternative sound in itself, well, hip hop's origin is alternative sound, but when we're talking about where people are going directionally, whether people are like, we're going to be doing the DJ Mustard thing over here, we're going to do the Metro thing there, somebody comes out of left field all the time with a different direction of sound. Folks, there's always complaints, okay? They did it with Speaker Box and Love Below when they came out, especially with the Love Below on Andre's half. A lot of people, the album is loved today. But I remember when the album initially dropped, like a bunch of other Outkast albums, but when that one initially dropped, people had complaints. They were like, buddy, I don't get it. The man keeps singing. He ain't rapping enough. And I just think, my personal opinion, I love what a lot of the rappers, the MCs that are doing. We talked about the clips. We talked about GNX. We talked about what Jid did. And we even talked about what Chance the Rapper has been able to deliver. I think that's his classic album too, by the way. Quote me on that one, right? But I think with A$AP Rocky, from what I'm hearing sonically, I do feel we need to shake some things up here.
Yeah,
shake it up.
In 2023 and 2024, he disappointed me too, because in 2023 when Riot dropped, which also continues the energy that we're getting here, I hope he keeps that track. But if he don't, I understand. But I think A$AP Rocky definitely has to be brave, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. And I do like the whole, I wouldn't say it's really about fighting against the power. It's more of angstiness.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Like just being rowdy.
As far as direct anarchy.
Right.
Yeah, it's just angst.
Right, it's just angst. And we've had that in punk rock and in hip hop before too, angst. Sometimes it's like what they said, a rebel without a cause. And then sometimes you get rebel with causes, like what you heard from the Sex Pistols, where they used to always talk crap about the Queen and how they had their issues with the monarchy over there in Britain. and their issues that they talked about that they had with the UK. So with this one though, it's not really about being politically aggressive or focusing on politics. It's more about being angst and having angst. And look, some of the visuals too are reminding me of dystopic futures like the Running Man, or even what we saw with Stallone and Wesley
Demolition Man.
Snipes, Demolition
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, this one definitely reminds me of Demolition Man.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he should go this route. This works perfect for ASAP Rocky, but he also is bringing like this designer edge to it. You know, I'm actually excited. If I was him, I'll go all the way, man. I have my first album, just me, my producers, me and my writers. We're here. Then I would drop again with all features, the same album, but have Playboy Cardi on there, have a lot of the rappers right now that are having that emo, grunge, punk rock sound. I would have every track with just all of them featured on each track. I would even drop like a mini film, with this as well. I don't know, have it be on Netflix, have it be on, Prime Video, or even drop on YouTube. But where he's going with this, it can go in a lot of different directions. The gaming aspect, I would throw that in there, but when it comes to producing a really good game, it takes time. You have to find the right programmers, the right company to partner up with, because why not have Rocky, the character that he created for this punk rock version of himself? Why not have him and his crew trying to survive this dystopic future where everything is chaotic and trying to survive SWAT? You could throw ICE in there as well. Have ICE agents, out there policing people, and federal agents, state agents. It would be nice to see all that. I'm like, why not just go all the way out and have fun? And it seems like he is having fun with that. So Punk Rocky, definitely feeling it, definitely enjoying it. That Punk Rocky aspect to it and energy to it, and it gets me really excited for Don't Be Dumb. Let's see the cop chases. Also, what I would add more of the AI situation in there. There was some aspects that was reminding me of Minority Report with the drones, or even Dark Angel. I'll just keep going with this. Why not?
Yeah, and look, like I said, I think sonically the sound is definitely got to be changed up, y'all. And the sound has to be moved around when people are talking about, the streets are dead. What does that have to do with the arts? And I think at this point in time, look, we talked about this last year, and I've always told you guys, I said, I do feel we're going to be moving towards an alternative sound in hip hop, because we've kind of been through all of the other mainstays, and also the audience has, they've grown fatigued with their ears. I think, you're still going to have guys that come up with great samples, like, of course, like I mentioned with Metro and Mustard, but so far what I'm hearing with ASAP Rocky, I don't think I've heard a bad track. I know the looseleys, like we talked about, saying, they really got me excited. I was very interested in. I mean, you guys know I've joked about ASAP Rocky's body of work a lot of times. I loved his first album, but his follow-up, they were like, it was kind of a bit of a letdown, or a bit distorted, but not in a decent way that I thought, for the most part. But I think with this one, having a strong concept, number one, and a theme, I personally feel ASAP Rocky is not going to necessarily be the most lyrical rapper. And I never thought that. I actually thought he was like a high-end vibe artist, and I don't really complain about ASAP Rocky's lyrics, because, come on now, like Travis Scott. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, Travis Scott really doesn't rap, but Travis Scott does have a great body of work. And I actually lean more into Travis Scott's body of work because of, like, he's more experimental with his sound per se.
Yeah, I like ASAP more than Travis, but Travis with the production do be fire.
Yeah, so I think that, but I do believe though where ASAP really gets the chance to shine is if he has a very strong theme. I always notice that even with his his clothing, attire. Usually when he always has a theme. He always needs strong themes.
What I like about him, he always keeps it New York City, but he is definitely influenced by other places. Like even when he first came out, being really appreciative of Houston, Texas sound with the chop and screw, and then even in his fashion, I'm seeing some L.A., Compton, West Coast,
Paris.
Fashion mixed with New York City, Harlem mixed with France, mixed with this, mixed with that, and I like how he just puts everything together, and he's brave when doing it, and I'm just really glad that he finally has decided to put out the album. But yeah, with this whole dystopic future, showcasing the angst behavior, kind of like Grand Theft Auto mixed with Minority Report and all that. I'm liking it. Throwing in games, throwing in like movie moments and throwback to video games, retro games, and mixing it with hip hop and punk, which again isn't new. Y'all go listen to the early days of hip hop. Even when people talk about vibe artists, it's like, people, do y'all forget the 80s hip hop? Hip hop wasn't even super lyrical until Roxanne and KRS-One and Rakim. I know, like, we was getting even dope fusions with Houdini.
Yeah.
People forget about that time of
we did.
Of hip hop. Hip hop has subgenres just like everybody else. You don't have to be lyrical to be hip hop. You just have to put out good music. Hip hop is about lyricism, but it's always had a vibe component too. Again, if you go look at early hip hop, a lot of people were not very lyrical. This is why people who felt like LL Cool J and Rakim was so important, of course, along with Run DMC, because they felt like they added the lyrical glue. And because of these type of people, of course, along with the Queen Roxanne, cannot forget her. Because of acts like them, it really created a lane where people who were amazing lyricists can be appreciated too. When we saw things like Source Magazine that will focus on the lyrical dexterity of different artists, but also about the production and different things like that. This is why Ye had a place in hip hop, not because he was never lyrical, but you felt his passion when every word that he said and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that up too, because people keep acting like hip hop is only supposed to be lyrical. Like, the early days of hip hop was everywhere. You had so many different types of acts. It was very diverse.
I actually just think is wherever your online echo chamber is, because you also got you got people that think all the rap is supposed to be streets. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of all over the place. It's like whatever YouTube channel you keep coming back to, that's what you think hip hop is supposed to be.
Yo,
you
Prince,
know what I'm saying?
You just nailed it perfectly. You said whatever echo chamber, and you're right. It's different echo chambers trying to fight for the identity of hip hop. It's like hip hop is all those things.
Everything.
It could be street or not.
Right.
Not everybody from the hood or street is doing street or hood activities.
Yeah.
And you also have a thing, especially depending on the region, like especially from New Jersey and also New York. It's like what Biggie, how he talked about his block. You have one block where it's black professors, doctors, nurses, lawyers, and a black kid can come from a 2-parent household who's providing from them in the 80s and doing well, and walk a couple of blocks down and he's with a single parent family, somebody on crack, somebody selling all that type of stuff. Yeah. So the black experience is very diverse, and and you see that also in hip hop.
Yeah, and so that's why I like when I heard that A$AP Rocky. I did watch a few of his interviews. And he talked about, he wanted to experiment with his sound sonically. And I says, yes, please please bring the alternative people back as far as rap goes. Like that's a big thing. I think Jid does a great job. He fringes in there. One of my favorite rappers right now from this era would be Kenny Mason. I think he does a fantastic job. Love Rico Nasty, sending out. We talk about her all the time. I like a lot of that sound that, is really getting in there. I do agree. Cindy and I both agree that when Travis Scott is paired with Playboi Carti, they sound fantastic together.
Oh my goodness, Travis Scott and Playboi Carti sound amazing together.
Now the only disappointing thing, I know they got beef over their hairstyles, but I would have loved to have seen more of collaborations between Travis Scott and A$AP Rocky. And it was just the irony is that A$AP was always paying homage to DJ Screw in the Third Coast, especially like Houston, Texas, Acres Home, Fifth Ward, Third Ward, things of that nature. And then here comes Travis Scott out of Missouri City, and it was crazy because I was like, oh, great, these guys can at least do an album together, but they just start fighting over Styles and Rihanna. It was just, and that is one thing I will say, but it happens in all genres, but it really happens a lot in rap. It's like guys that usually would normally do well together, they actually end up fighting each other, or they've made really dope records together. They end up fighting each other and just be a long-standing beef.
Yeah. And to add to that, it's unfortunate because I like the atmospheric trap, dark chords that Travis Scott uses. And
them hell chords.
And I think they would work very well with A$AP Rocky, pretty guy, designer, Harlem style. But also just to go back to Rico Nasty, when we're talking about the sound, Schoolboy Q experimented with this sound
he actually does a lot of that himself. Blue Lips. Yeah.
He experimented with the sound a little bit himself, and he also had Rico Nasty on his album. So, in 2024, we did say this is definitely where the industry is going.
Yes.
Because before that, you did already have the vibe scene with X, with Uzi Vert,
Juice WRLD,
with Juice WRLD, and also with what's the ex friend?
Oh yeah, you talking about Slump? Yeah.
So right now, I think people are going to tighten it up though. Now, I think they're going to tighten it up now with how to really
hone in on it.
Yeah, it's going to be more clean because it was raw versions of that with X. X did a great job with it. There was moments where he really signed with it because he was actually more lyrical than people give him credit for.
Oh yeah, he was.
But he was also very angsty, and then there was moments where he was political. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, and if people will give him his credit. The person who doesn't do this style well, even though he influenced people who does the style, is Lil Wayne. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Lil
Wayne, prom queen.
I hate when Lil Wayne does it.
Yeah.
He experimented with this early on, but again, I would say Schoolboy Q with Blue Lips. I would say Rico Nasty is, of course, amazing with this. And A$AP, Punk Rocky, not bad.
Well, okay, and I do want to break this down real quick, and I'm glad you brought up Wayne. Now, Wayne it's unfortunate because he should kind of get his credit for going for a layup and missing, though. Like, he was like, all right, I'm going to try it, but that's not the case. The problem is, I always felt he should have been paired with someone that was going to be a little bit more experimental and knew what to do with his voice, because him running around with Kevin Rudolph, and Kevin Rudolph is not a bad, rock musician. I don't listen to his music, but it is like Christian rock. Okay, so it's kind of like Christian rock, and then you just get Wayne's vocals on top of the instrumentals. I think, artists like Wayne, to the point, I think the Rebirth album, I didn't think it was a good album. But the whole set, though, where they're going, because you got to keep in mind, this is kind of, when Sin brings up angstiness, I want people to think about it in a multi-layered situation. On one hand, in the more contemporary times, you had X, you had Tentacion, right?
Who did the style very well.
But we're talking about in the millennial to Gen Z class, right? But on the other side of it, you had Waka Flocka at the beginning. You know, so this is coming off of what you've seen when Lil Jon starts experimenting with crunk and rock, and I'm just talking about in the confines of rap music because
and rap, we even had this sound, and it came up in the late '80s, and then there were moments in the '90s where it would come out
sputtering in and out,
right?
And then you had MOP as well, then Onyx.
Yes,
you get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know why, and I'm also talking to you old heads who I do like. But why do y'all keep acting like everything's new? You know, most of these sounds in hip hop was already started in the 80s and 90s. Now, was it a consistent thing like what we saw with boom bap or the long duration of trap? No. But it's always been sputtering in and out.
It's always been here. Who do you think? I mean, that's where on the bad end where Slim Shady does the early. Like, he's influenced by a lot of this.
Right.
He's influenced by the Tupacs and the Biggies, but he's also influenced by Onyx running around grimy. You know, he's influenced with that type of stuff. But just to say this, you know, I am looking forward to it. I am very interested in exactly as either composer or engineer, what role does Danny Elfman play in all of this? And you know, does he have a voice in the curation process? I would like to know ASAP Rocky's mindset behind this, because Danny Elfman released in 2021 an album called, I think it was called like A Big Mess. And because everybody knows him as like the Batman guy that makes the music for Batman and Edward Scissorhands, when they saw him come out with this red hair and all this stuff, they say, yo, he looked like a crazy red-haired white woman, right? But his origin is a rock band. That's his origin. So, you know, he was doing things of that nature. So, are they going to bring in the industrial sound, the progressive rock, you know,
like
you know,
the 9 Inch Nails and all that.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm very interested. Sonically, I'm not going to lie to you. Or, you know, sitting there, we talked about this, but I felt ASAP Rocky's album, to me, I was sonically the most or more interested in. You know,
yeah. Y'all gotta like stop selling music out and being scary people. Y'all already got your designer handbag deals. Y'all already, you see, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, she getting her bread with Popeyes and all that.
Yes.
So y'all should have no worries about experimenting and taking chances musically and sonically. Like, hell, like, why not have 3 albums? You come out one with you come out the second one with Playboy and all of them on all these verses. The feature's going to be on there. The third one, you come out, have 9 Inch Nails on there with you for one track. Have another track where you have Smashing Pumpkins. Have also bring up a lot of the punk and rock black bands that are out there since they started this style to begin with. You know, why not have them? Like, you know, you still also have Def. I believe all 3 members are still alive.
Right, yes.
Straight from Detroit. Have them on it. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, guys, like, music doesn't have to fit in its perfect box. Do whatever you want. Just make it sound good.
Yeah, I'm interested. They already, you know, ASAP, he already got my attention. I will be looking forward to the original studio release. You know me saying I'm always big on deluxes. You know, I like when people add 23 songs that I didn't hear. You know, I did like that approach because when SZA did it with her joint, the SOS joint, I personally felt that was a throwback to what we used to see a lot of times. People would release the original album, let's say it's 12 songs, and then they'll come back with a deluxe, and it's like 23 songs. You're like, oh, these are the joints y'all was playing around with the rough drafts and the ideas. I am very interested if A$AP Rocky does some of that. And I think on the artistic direction where he had been going, because I know he did a couple singles that I did like for that last Denzel Washington movie where he was running around with the fabulous earrings.
The only critique I have also for the helicopter video, and this is the director, editor, y'all did a great job, but it would have been cool if y'all would have made it interactive. I felt like it should have been something where people can actually interact with it.
Well, I get that, you know, and I think we've seen that a little bit earlier, but it would be nice if he's going with this this kind of PlayStation 2
yeah,
Dreamcast theme he got going on right now.
Okay, we understand, like, he's not going to do no open world game, even though you technically could with Punk Rocky.
Yeah.
You could have an open source, but that takes a long time. You don't want to put something out there with a great idea and it's shitty execution, and then you fuck it up.
Yeah.
But
then you see it done in China.
What he could, right? But what he could still do, with the helicopter video and making it interactive, you can make it like a very short, pixelated online game where ASAP and his crew running around this dystopic New York City. Remember, what does it say? Escape from New York?
Yeah, there was Escape from New York. Yeah.
Great classic film.
Right, with Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
then Escape from L.A., which wasn't as good, but
right.
it was decent.
It could be throwback graphics. People could have, they clicked on any aspect of the video.
Well, see, we had to get you into marketing on that one.
I'm just saying.
No, it's not a bad idea. I actually agree with you. I think for ASAP Rocky, especially now, he should make it more interactive.
Because there's like free fun games on right now with like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You go click on play Pac-Man for free. It pops right up.
Well, they got all of those games on the iPad where they you beating some Slavic woman.
Right. So that's an idea, Rocky. Yeah. Maybe for the next video, you do that, make it interactive, a little 10-minute game. Yes. It could be 10 minutes.
Yeah, do something.
But let it be fun.
No, I actually agree with that. I do think he should further expand on this. I personally feel like the album is bigger than what people think it is right now. I actually think, it's a very anticipated album. I think the only other album or albums that could be as anticipated, of course, there's going to be, the fall off. And then I think with Iceman, if Drake continues on with that project.
People are going to want to see if Iceman succeeds or not. And there are people who are really interested to see what Drake has to say after all this chaos.
It'd be a cold-blooded game if Drake was able to politic and reunite with people in the industry.
A reunion album?
Yeah, I mean, that's about the only thing he could do.
I think he's going to want to prove that he can stand on his own, so he's probably going to be mostly by himself on Iceman, but you never know. You never know,
but no, I think those are fantastic ideas, Sin. I think also just the direction where ASAP is going. It's funny. We was making our meal, and I just happened to see, because I had saved it because it said Helicopters was supposed to premiere, and it happened to come on, and I had a chance. We watched it, and I thought it was really dope. I like where he's going sonically. I'm loving the visuals. Look, I think it's been so far a pretty decent album rollout campaign since last year.
Yeah, people in music, okay, you too much crybaby stuff. Okay, yeah, y'all messed up and y'all signed bad deals and y'all messed up the game by not standing with each other. But there is still hope. You're just gonna have to put a lot more work into your stuff. But it's like with GNX, dope album,
great album, yes.
Album is still dope to this day.
Yes.
And allegedly, there's supposed to be a GNX documentary coming out, which I'm invested in.
Yeah.
So
I can see it, though, because a lot of the directors and treatment writers, I've noticed they're getting interviews right now.
And that's what I want to see.
I think those are early indicators.
I don't want to just hear the album. Make it an interactive world. Make it something where we get to engage and have fun. Take us into your universe. And then you will
behind the music.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about people being moralists trying to stab y'all up because y'all putting out half-ass music or you're not putting out enough, and then y'all surprised when people looking into your closet. Who sexually assaults people?
Yeah.
Who do this? Who do that? So put out good to great art and have it not only be the music, but also have some other things that still is the music. I'm not saying, for example, you have to go out there and lose track of the sound. For example, if this video Helicopter was interactive and you go to the quick game app, the game is 10 minutes. But what happens if while you're playing the game, you're listening to a game version sound of Don't Be Dumb?
Yeah, the 8-bit.
The 8-bit
version, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, get your engineers on it, because it's...
You can do any and everything and still have it be connected to the music.
Well, okay, so that's what used to be. That's what was the thing, when we was growing up. So you had like, an interactive CD or you had an interactive DVD, and in fact, they're saying right now, Gen Zers are the largest buyers of old media, DVDs, CDs, things of that nature. That's a whole untapped market.
That's what
one
Ye
could
trying
get.
to do with Bully right now. He got cassette tapes with Bully as well.
Is the album, has it ever been released or not? Like,
It never was released. Those, I guess, was just pump fakes. But he's supposed to be releasing it sometime in January, allegedly.
I'll believe it when I see it. But yeah, I do think that is an old market, or a traditional market that people have overlooked. But yes, no. People think I just dropped my album and then that's it. When routinely in all different genres, you had the immersive interactive experience. And I do think there have been a lot of projects that artists and their team have been lazy about with the interactive experience. Like, yes, like Let God Sort 'Em Out. It was a really good rollout. I still think people may disagree, man. I still do believe the GNX. I do, from the battle to the Super Bowl. I think that was the best rollout, right?
If we're talking about the last 3 years, GNX was definitely the best rollout for, I would say, not only a hip hop album but album period. I think people only tap on hip hop because we also are a hip hop platform, but we like to talk about and love all genres of music. But a lot of all genres have become lazy when it comes to music. Their rollouts have been trash.
It's just been terrible.
They've been boring, not putting up enough effort.
Okay.
Shit, you can sell clothes and stuff with your rollout.
They don't even want to do that.
If you need to generate cash, put it in the rollout.
At this point in time, they're going to have to do more. Because think about it. It's been we can say it's been a really good 10 years where artists have been comfortable dissing the audience, where I don't have to do any interviews.
They get mad at us.
Yeah.
But you want us to buy your shit, but all you do is make excuses why you have to do the bare minimum.
I do think people do need to take it back and get back into immersive interactive engagement, make the audience come along with the process, because because that's like,
it's been boring.
Michael Jackson was a fantastic performer, but he was also a hyper immersive, engaging entertainer. He was an imaginateur, right? He was basically, he was a magician, pulling people in, giving people special behind the scenes. He would do little short movies, documentaries. The merch would be out there. And I don't know. When people keep saying like, why doesn't it feel exciting? Well, I mean, a lot of the artists, they can be dope, but there's nothing motivating there. You get what I'm saying?
You got to be motivated. Look, I'm not buying no album if you giving me not enough effort. Like, I want, even when the fall off, I don't want Cole just to drop it. I want there to be some type of
What's the story? What's the story?
Yeah, let give me some stuff of the fall off. When you're ready to drop it, leave some breadcrumbs. I want to see it. Even with Iceman, I appreciate Drake's effort. I think him riding around in the truck was a good idea. I didn't like the Pinocchio stuff.
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry. That Pinocchio chasing Drake is the best shit he's released.
We have our theories of what it could be, but he need to blow that shit up.
Ooh, that was funny.
And shut down that Eyes Wide Shut shit and go to the theme of at least the title of Iceman. Driving in a truck. I don't know, do some shit in the snow.
Well, I will give it to him.
I mean, here in the United States, there's a large portion. It's still winter all the way until March, which is spring, which I hope you don't drop it in March because that would be stupid. You should drop it early February or late January. But, yeah, like, we want interactive stuff. Even independent artists. Don't give me that bullshit about budget. It's not really a budget issue. It's a creativity, artistic issue.
For them,
some of y'all are not as artistically inclined as y'all claim y'all are, because if you are, there's always a way to make it nice, as we saw with many artists back in the day who put a lot of effort in what means Cab Calloway. Come on, man, you the jazz era. They would do a lot with their rollout and with their vinyls and stuff.
Of course, you know, people bringing vinyls back, and that's fine for the collectible nerds. You know, I'm not going to always go out and buy vinyls. You know, vinyls it's very few artists that I'm like, definitely MF Doom is at the top of the list. All right. You know, a lot of his merch just in general, the hoodies, the COVID mask,
ahead of his time,
the sketchbooks. Yeah. So everything was just cool, and it bled into comic books as well. So that's why we really love the MF Doom property. But I want to go back to something. Okay. This is what happened with all of this Chipotle guacamole hip hop gets you. Everything, all this minimalism, IKEA. I want to be like Zuckerberg on network.
It was the worst time in hip hop.
I hated it. I hated it. And it was only whites. The colors white and black. You know,
it was too much sterilization.
Yeah, so I personally don't like it. It's never been my thing. I hate the minimalism. I know we got some really decent artists that did lo-fi that came out of that era, but all of the artists, they all wanted to be the Apple of the music industry. Look, the album just drops. There are no names of the songs in the back of the album. There are no titles.
Oh, it's
things
because,
of that.
Beyonce, who usually always has a rollout, one time she drops the album with a surprise, and you know what I don't like about the industry? Everybody got a copy. Okay, she did it. Y'all go do something else.
So she did it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. That actually, between the Striptease album, the African Lion King album, right, the King Kong album, and then the Lemonade Cheaters Jerry Springer album. To me, those were her three best rollouts, right?
Well, that Lemonade rollout was a great one because
it was fire.
Everybody rolled out 444.
Yeah, everybody did.
Seat at the Table.
Yeah, everybody did.
All stemmed from that video.
Yeah.
That was a part of the rollout.
Well, the fight.
The fight.
Yeah, set up by Jerry Bruckheimer, right? So and I know people have heard me like rant and roast, you know, a certain type of like hipster, blipster, hip hop crowd. I don't care that they exist. I hate when they become the anchor of authority because they all wanted to be like Zuckerberg and network. No. They wanted to be like Steve Jobs.
Point, Prince, they listen to boring white people too much. We're not even talking about white people who are also a part of the artist community like anybody can be. But, you know, that money laundering, I put a dot on a canvas.
Banana and duct tape.
Prince and I are from that world, so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Soho galleries and stuff. Please cut that shit the fuck out.
Yes.
That may work from them scammers.
Yes, it does.
And I understand there's a network of scammers and hip-hop, credit card scamming and all that. Mm-hmm. But you can't overly scam on music. After a while, people catch up, and then they get bored with your ass. So
and they catch on.
So leave that Soho nonsense alone. Now, I do know that A$AP Rocky adds a bit of that Soho energy in it, but it's just a dash, which is good. But don't make it your full identity because that will be whack.
He can only go so far.
And luckily, he doesn't.
No, you're right about that. And he can only go so far because he's with Rihanna.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't seem like she would be not really into that because I don't see it show up in her art anywhere. You could tell, like, when Jay-Z leaned too much into it, it's like, come on back out of it. It was from that Cruel Summer to the Watch the Throne, which I felt was the Ric Flair version of that.
Watch the Throne was the good version of that.
I felt it was the good version.
But that Tom Ford stuff, no.
See, there you go. You see what I'm talking about?
Clap for your nigga with your rapping ass.
But we got a
stack. I was like, It's actually Jay-Z's worst album to me.
Yeah, and it was his worst collab with Nas. I told you guys about that. But no, look, I like what A$AP is doing. I like that he's branching out. I do know, and I kept saying this. I said, no, like there's an alternative wave that's going to be coming, and people. That's why people are like, who cares about this street stuff? Because people want to come outside. They want to be expressive.
Yeah.
People also.
That's what they miss. When Jay-Z used to do it when he was wearing them jerseys like Fabulous.
Yeah.
When they were outside and they was doing street ball.
Yes.
And also that was a great way to promote their music. When they was out there, the kids was out. Everybody
Maya
was outside.
Records.
Right. People was outside playing basketball, and they would also create their own teams and stuff. They gotta be. I wouldn't say Jay-Z right now. He's already a elder, but for the younger people. Y'all gotta be outside and be more fun.
It's gonna happen anyway.
Don't be boring.
Because you have a generation and a half that they lived through the Barack Obama era. Some of them lived through Bush 2, the back end of Bush 2, but they witnessed Obama, then they witnessed Trump. So they're kind of seeing like dystopia, different versions of dystopic futures under both situations. So I know psychologically they're going to want to check out altogether. Right. They like, I want to be free.
People are looking for great art.
Yeah.
They're not looking to be completely distracted because they're going to be taking their butts outside and protesting. But
right.
People want great art to make them feel good after protesting for some hours. Yeah. And they take off their tire kicks, boots, whatever. They want to be able
go home and have hippie sex.
To enjoy some good music, movies, and shows. And also, when you set up anything you do outside, don't be like Diddy. I'm not talking about what happened where them kids got stomped on for their basketball game in New York City.
Yes.
Make it be outside and make sure it's safe.
Yeah, again, looking forward to it. I'm liking the sound. I think A$AP Rocky, he is funny to me. I think it's a part of his DNA as an artist, because if you listen to a lot of his Long Live Rocky joints, he's always had an alternative aesthetic there. But I do think he's sensing the compass and the direction musically. You got Destroy Lonely out there. You got Playboy Cardi out there. Rico Nasty. You got BK the Ruler. You got Tia Corinne out there as well. So that is a direction. And I can see JID having a longevity of his rapping career based on going into that alternative route as well.
I want real artists to be outside. Yeah. Y'all need to be creative and not be boring.
Bring your sketchbooks, niggas.
And that's why I'm like punky rock.
I like the cartoon. I like the cover design. I really like it. It's catchy.
I'm calling him Punky. I'm mixing punk with rock.
Yeah, and it looked like he having fun. Fun.
So the punk rocky stuff is nice. Have a 5-minute cartoon, bro. Yeah. Y'all supposed to be creators.
Get it out there. Yes.
Where's the creations? That's all I'm saying. So far, so good, though.
Yeah, I like it. But I have been waiting for this since last year. So
since last year?
Yeah.
There's some people who've been waiting for longer than that.
Yeah, I believe that. They've been in the food stamp line for a long time. So I get it, niggas. Keep standing, niggas.
You know what's so crazy?
Yeah.
You and I already knew about what was going to happen with Trump and ICE because our animation that we did in 2016.
Yeah, it was like 7-8 years ago.
It was SWAT, but also ICE arresting people and their kids and stuff.
That's what makes thought crimes creepy to people.
And then in 2020, we said that the Trump administration was going to put Black Lives Matter and Antifa as terrorists. Yep. Y'all ain't getting no more political predictions from us.
Come on, man. I'm about to listen to A$AP. Come on, talk.
We on vacation.
Yeah, that's what makes people say sometimes we come across a bit creepy. But anyway, what isn't creepy is so far the music that A$AP's been dropping. So I've been enjoying it. Can't wait to see what else comes about it. I do hope that we see more artists begin to have fun, and I would like to see what was his name, Eminem. I would like to see him come back outside. I think it's about that time, to be honest with you, for a lot of these guys and girls to just come outside and have fun.
Yeah, so. and put out some fun stuff. We want some, whether it's political, whether it's not. Let it be amazing. Let it be fun. Get the people pumped up. Get them pumped up.
They are
pump. Pump it up.
They are messing with a lot of people's nervous systems because I knew it was time to switch up when Ye came out with the Klansman hoodie. I said, all right, y'all, let's wrap it up, y'all.
I didn't know y'all was, we did talked about the alt-right and hip-hop.
We talked about that too.
But man, y'all putting on Klan hoodies.
Yeah. So
Klan hoods on and stuff. Yo, y'all. Look, just don't be if you wanna be compelled to do that, just don't be political at all.
Well, you know what's funny?
Just don't come outside at all.
Yeah. Mero, as we spoke about for Hot 97, you know, I felt it was like, hey man, there's some cultural optimism there. And then the ASAP Rocky video Helicopter, I was like, you know what, man, we got some cultural optimism here. You know, we can have fun, folks. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see where everything goes. You know, I think I do like that idea because I've seen some people initially diss the concept at first, but then when they start hearing some of the singles, they say, hey, look, he sold me on it. I'm open to seeing what he's going to bring.
Same here. All right, guys. Continue. We have a next segment, of course, coming right after this ad. And when I mean ad, just some artistic fun. We're going to be breaking down what our thoughts are pertaining to Drake Iceman. Is the anticipation there or not? We're about to talk it out.
airwaves. Alright, now, I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airways. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what it is. It's a capo niggas in the building, you know. First and foremost, I just want to say shouts out to my niggas on the Patreon. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Shouts out to the bitches, too. That's what we doing. But by the way, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that nigga. Got my man T5.
Oh, shit,
We're gonna have a real conversation about what's going on in rap music. Well, yeah, because you know a lot of niggas, they be hating me out there. They hate me out there. Yeah, because I'm still a koofy smacker. So what, nigga? I said I was better than Nas. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you niggas? Bitch niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real nigga, unlike Cam's teeth, niggas. Bully! Anyway, niggas, yo, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. You niggas gonna get it first. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I always be delivering y'all work the first, niggas. Y'all know what time it is when I touch down. You know what I'm saying? The tri-state area, Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Chickens, Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you do, niggas. Jimmy's!
To this day. To this day.
Perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me.
Is that a challenge?
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
White folks are nosy. They have specials. Nosy specials. Why does a bee make honey? You ain't a bee. Why do you give a fuck?
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
If he dies, he dies.
Go to our Patreon for more. And don't bother me.